Okay, for this project, I am using regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is a worsted weight, a 4-ply acrylic, but you don't have to use this. Any type of 4-ply yarn that you have will work. And I'm using 3 different colors. You can actually use, some people use 4. They do 1, 2, and then this one different, and make that one different, but I just used 3. I made the center and then the outline the same, but any colors that you want are fine. 1 to 4 colors, so it's up to you. And you're not going to need that much, just you could use this as scrap yarn, so just not very much of each ball. And I'm using 3 different colors of browns. I'm using coffee color, buff, and I think this is, yep, cafe latte. Brown's my favorite color, so I like to use it. And we're going to be making this with the African flower hexagon square. It's got the 6 sides, and it's really easy to do. And you're going to need 7 of them total. And I got 1 more to make, so I'll show you how to make that real quick. And you're also going to need, I'm using bamboo handles. You don't have to use these. If you want, they sell these on Etsy and Amazon. Not Etsy, I'm sorry, eBay and Amazon. I think maybe even Walmart, I'm not sure. But I got these off a old bag or something that I got at a resale shop. I have piles of handles that I get off bags from resale shops. That's where I get all my handles. But if you don't have these, you can make your own handle. You can use 1 handle, 2 handles. It's completely up to you on the handles. But I'm going to be using these for the handles. And I'm going to be working with a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. Okay. The African flower square is really easy. Go ahead and get started here with the slip knot on your hook. And you want to start off with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to slip stitch back into the first stitch to form a ring. Now if you know how to do the magic circle and you want to do that instead, that will work too. Just like that. And now I'm going to start off by chaining 1. And that chain 1 does not count as anything. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 2 double crochets back through the center of the ring. So I'm going to yarn over and go right through the center of the ring and draw the loop and then do my double crochet. So that's 1, and I'm going to do it again. And that's 2. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go through the ring and do 2 more double crochets again. So there's 1 and 2, and I'm going to chain 1. You can keep sliding them over as you go. Again, I'm going to go back through and do 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2, and I'm going to chain 1. Again, 2 more double crochets. So what I need is 6 sets of 2 double crochet with a chain 1 in between each set. So there's 1, 2, I'm going to chain 1, again, 2 more, 1, 2, and I'm going to count here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5 sets of 2 double crochet, so I'm going to do 1 more, so I have 6. I'm going to chain 1, go through and do 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, and I'm going to chain 1 after that last one, and now I'm going to slip stitch into my very first double crochet. Not that chain 1, but the double. Like that. And I'm going to switch colors here. Now I always tie off when I switch colors. You don't have to do that. You can just slip stitch your new color in. But I always tie off. So just go ahead and tie off or slip stitch your new color, however you want to do it. Like that. Now, if you pull your tail here, you can usually make that center circle a little smaller. And at the end, you can just sew it shut all together. Like that. So we got 6 sets of 2 double crochet with a chain 1 in between each one. So now you want to start your new color, or if you just slip stitched your new color in, you want to get to one of these chain 1 spaces, so you have to slip stitch over to it if you didn't tie off. But if you tied off like me, I'm just going to start right here in any one of these chain 1 spaces. You wouldn't believe how many negative comments I get because I always clip my yarn fresh with the, I mean, it's weird. I'm like, why does it matter how I do it? But some people really like to say something about it. That's just how I've always done it, clipping off every color change. Okay, you want to start your yarn by chaining 1. And now I'm going to go through working in this chain 1 space, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets. So go right through the same space. Oh, that was a half double. 2 doubles. So here's 1, 2, and now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into the same space and do 2 more double crochets. 1, 2. So in that space, chain 1 space, I have 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And I'm going to do that in every single chain 1 space all the way around. So now I'm going to jump to the next one, which is right here, and I'm going to do 2 doubles. It's 1, 2, chain 1, go back in and do 2 more doubles. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to jump to the next chain 1 space right here. 2 doubles. So 1, 2, chain 1, and 2 more doubles. Sorry about this dark yarn. Jump to the next chain 1 space and do it again. 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 more doubles. 1, 2. Okay, the next one, do it again. 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 more doubles, and one more time in my last chain 1 space right here. 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 more doubles. And now you want to slip stitch into your first double crochet, not the chain 1, the double crochet, like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be working in these chain 1 spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch over, since I'm using the same color, to this next chain 1 space. So go ahead and slip stitch 2 times. So slip stitch once, and then your next slip stitch will be in the chain 1 space. Okay, now I'm going to start off again by chaining 1. Now I'm going to go right, working all this into the same chain 1 space. I'm going to work 7 double crochets right through that chain 1 space, and this is going to kind of make the petals of the flower. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now I'm going to jump to the next chain 1 space, which is right here, and put 7 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next, chain 1 space and work 7 double crochets. So what I'm going to do is work 7 double crochets in each one of these chain 1 spaces all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, when you made it all the way around, you should have 6 of these little petals there. And go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, and I'm going to color change here. So I'm going to tie off this color, clip it, and start again with my new color. I'm going to go back to my light one here. Now we're going to do the little outline around it. I'm going to start in any one of the petals, the first stitch in any one of these petals here. And I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and single crochet. And I'm going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 7 stitches right here from the petal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to do a single crochet, which means I'm just going to come all the way down into this chain 1 space here and draw up a long loop. So I'm just going to go all the way down through it and grab my yarn from behind and pull up a long loop. And then I'm just going to yarn over and do a regular single crochet like that. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 7 stitches of the next petal. Don't forget this very first one. Sometimes it hides behind this drop stitch, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to do a drop single crochet again. So I'm just going to put my hook all the way down here into this chain space, grab my yarn and draw up a long loop, and then yarn over and go through those 2 loops on my hook like that. Again, 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop single crochet again. I'm going to bring my hook all the way down here into this chain space. Draw up a long loop, yarn over and go through those 2 loops on my hook. 1 single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop single all the way down. And I'm just going to keep repeating this pattern until I get back around to the beginning. 1 single crochet in each of the next 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop single crochet again. One single crochet in each of the next 7. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop single into this last space here. Go all the way down, drop a loop, yarn over, go through those 2 loops, and now I'm going to end with the slip stitch into my first single crochet, not the chain 1, but the single. And again, I'm going to tie this off and start my new color. So that's okay. There's going to be 6 corners now, so we're going to start here. These 7 single crochets here that are in between the drop stitches, you want to start in the middle one, so the 4th one. So you count over 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one, the middle one. And that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to start by putting a corner right here in this spot. So I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go back into the same stitch and I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch and work 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2, and that's going to form a corner of the hexagon. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, there's 3, 4, oops, 5, 6, and 7. And now I'm going to put a corner into the next stitch, so I'm going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and go back and put 2 more double crochets, all that in that same stitch. So it's 2 double, chain 1, 2 double. Now I'm going to work and put 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the next stitch is going to be a corner, so 2 doubles, a chain 1, and 2 doubles all into the next stitch. Now it's going to be 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the next stitch will be the corner stitch again. 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And then 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and when you get back around you should have 6 of the little corner spaces. Okay, when you make it all the way around, go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, and then you can tie this off. Like that. That's what it looks like. And remember, you need 7 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and hide all these tails. If you have kind of a hole in the center there from the beginning, you can just take your tail and sew it shut. That's what I always do. Okay, now this is how they're going to kind of get sewed together. These get folded in half. And they go kind of around the edges here. All the way around. So, kind of like this. So, this will get sewed up, and then pretending this was still sewed on, but if you look, this would be the other side and it'd be sewed up like that. And then that, if you can kind of make sense out of that. And I'm going to sew it together using my yarn needle and a piece of yarn. You could slip stitch it together if you wanted. That's completely up to you. I do it both ways sometimes, but this time I'm going to use my yarn needle. So when you lay it out like this, with all your pieces how it's supposed to be, these edges will get sewed together around this square, and then it'll be the same on the other side. So it'll be open right up here. So I'll show you how I'm going to get started on sewing it. I'm going to get my piece of yarn here and my yarn needle, and I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to start just right up here and sew these two together first. And I'm sewing it with the right side facing me. So I'm just going to start right here in the corner of this one, and then the corner of this one back here. And pull through. And now I'm just going to kind of work my way down, sewing it together. I'm going to grab the back loop on this one back here. This is how I do it, but you can actually do it either way. You see the two loops? On this one back here, I'm going to go through this farthest loop. And then on this one up here, I'm going to go through this one. So like the inside loops. You don't have to do it that way, but then I'm going to go to the next stitch and grab the inside loop of this one and the inside loop of this one. Pull through. And I go to the next stitch and grab the inside loop and then the inside loop of this next stitch on the other side. But, you know, however you learn to sew your grannies together, there's tons of different ways to do it. And you just kind of try to neatly sew it the best you can. The inside loop of this piece and the inside loop of this piece. And this is how I'm going to sew the whole thing together. When you get to the chain one space, you just do the same thing. You grab the inside loop of the chain one space and the inside loop of the other chain one space and kind of just sew it together like that. And when you lay it out, you should have a nice, pretty nice clean seam. And I do. And that's how I'm going to do it. So now I'm going to grab my next one. And sew it on. So actually they're all going to be kind of sewed like this at first, like that, and then you'll put this one here and sew them up like this. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. That one down that side, and that one down that side, and that one down that side, and then we'll have to go through and sew these up too. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew all these together around the edge here, and then I'm going to put this one on, and I'm going to flip them and sew all these together around the edge like that. Okay, once you get your big piece sewed up, now all I've done is you'll have these little openings here along each side. Just sew them up individually, just the same way. Start here, go around and sew them up, each one of them. Okay, once you get it all sewed up, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm just going to go along the top with the row of single crochet to make the edges look nice and clean. So I'm just going to kind of start right here in a corner somewhere and chain one. Now I'm going to go back in that same stitch and single crochet. Now I'm going to put one single crochet in every stitch around the top here, just to make it kind of look finished before I sew my handles on. And when you get to the corner up here, the chain one space, I'm going to put 2 single crochets through that chain one space like that. And then I'm going to continue down, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Oops. Like that. And then like when you get in a crease here, I'm just going to jump over to the next thing. Like here's a single crochet where these 2 corners meet, just go over to the next one here and continue putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. So the only place I'm going to be putting 2 single crochets is in this top corner here and this top corner here. So I'm going to continue around with 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back to the beginning. When you've made it all the way around the top here and you're back to your starting point, I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first single crochet, and I'm going to clip this off and hide the tail, and I'll hide that in a minute. Now I'm going to sew my handles on, and remember, if you don't have the same handles as me, that's fine. You can make your own handles. You could put 1 short one, 2 short ones, long one, 2 long ones, whatever you want. But I'm going to sew these up here in the corners here, and I'm just going to do that with a yarn needle. Show you how I do that real quick, in case you happen to have these same handles. I'm just going to put it right up here at the corner up here and use my yarn needle and sew it on. Real easy. Right through here. If you know another way to put them on, though, it's completely up to you. But I always just usually sew it. Oh, just like that. And I'm going to do that to both handles. Okay, once you get your handles on, that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And please don't forget to check me out on Facebook. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. Or if you make this or anything else, you can always post a picture of it. I'd love to see it. And until next time, have a good day.